Come one, come all to the virtual TIGERTHON finale, where your donations are tripled for the rescues of the Wildcat Sanctuary. Today may be the virtual finale, but rest assured, those triple donations lasting through this Sunday at the stroke of midnight. How exciting, Thor Jr. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. Happy TIGERTHON virtual finale. And again, don't let finale fool you. Your donations are still tripled through this Sunday. So welcome, everyone. And today is Thursday, TIGERTHON Thursday, and it is the Teenage Takeover. And we are kicking off the day showing off what your support does, especially now when it's going 3 times as far, what it does for our striped rescues here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, and our teenage striped rescues in particular. That's Thor Jr. right here. I'm going to welcome some of our awesome supporters and followers here. You can also see one of our sponsors who are putting up a portion of the match that we're going to talk a little bit about today, Jamf. They're certainly a company that you guys have heard us talk about here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, but I will go into detail on them and the Teenage Takeover, all things triple donation. But let's say hi to the folks, Thor Jr. Let's say hi to the folks. Hey, Deborah Andrews, Melanie C., good morning to you. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Thursday and is excited for the day too. We got a full day ahead of us, Mr. Teenager. Yeah, you like our Bitly box? Happy TIGERTHON Thursday, says Kathy Ryan. Glad to have you with us, Kathy. It's going to be a fun day today. Stephanie Hutton's here. Stephanie, welcome. Hey, Angela R. And we'll definitely be following around Thor Jr. here. We got some cents on his platform I put up there for you, big guy. Added some extra toys to your pool. We're going to spend some time. Chat Thor Jr., chat triple donations. And really just kind of remind ourselves of how integral your support is to our rescues, and looking at the life that Thor lives now and contrasting against the one that he used to live, coming from the infamous Tiger King Park. You know, without being too cliche, it's nothing short of a miracle of what you guys have changed in Thor's life. What do you think about that? Big tipsy, Tom, All types of toys for a teenager like you. And I think it'd be a good time to mention Jamf and thank Jamf for being one of the sponsors of TIGERTHON and contributing towards the match, which is allowing your guys' donations to have, well, truthfully, the greatest impact it possibly can for it to go 3 times as far. Jamf is a software company that works with different organizations to make sure that their IT is running smoothly, software is up to date. Jamf here in Minnesota is a huge participant in our volunteer program. So it's a big thank you for obviously helping put up the match for TIGERTHON, and another big thank you for kind of donating their their blood and sweat to us via our volunteer program. We frequently see Jamf on live posts during the summer, during our volunteer season, of them kicking butt for the cats. So awesome that they're helping kick butt for the cats in this way as well. So good on Jamf, and thank them for participating in TIGERTHON Triple Match. And we'll be talking about a variety of our sponsors today on the live post during the What's That Thor Jr., the Teenage Takeover. Can anyone name who might be the teenage cats, the quote-unquote teenage cats that we would be seeing today? I'm curious, Thor Jr. Lots of thanks for Jamf, and you like our box, I see. Thor pointing out that we have a direct link where you can type that bit.ly/TIGERTHON 2023 and have your gift tripled. Thank you, Mr. Thor Jr. But who could our other quote-unquote Tiger teenagers be today? Who else are we going to be visiting with? Because we have a fun day ahead. I can think of a few off the top of my head. Well, I'm excited to see Dash. I'm excited to see Indy. I'm excited to see Nova. The Teenage Takeover obviously is going to be featuring some of our more young cats, but I think that there's, rather overarching something there, and that these are all young cats. And here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, we've made a lifetime commitment to these young cats, a 20-plus year commitment. We've been talking about TIGERTHON and a big cat like Thor Jr., costing on average about $10,000 a year to care for. Man, it's something special that we're able to provide here for the rescues, thanks to you guys. And that's what today's all about, Mr. Thor Jr. But, you know, Olivia, I'm gonna bring you in here and help me out. We've had a kind of theme to our live posts here, and how we've been able to galvanize you all to help support the cats during TIGERTHON. And we've so much appreciated that support so far, and let's see what we're going to be able to do for Thor Jr. today. And so we've had a little bit of a theme going, and it's kind of 3 things that the rescues that we're featuring in today Thor Jr. So 3 things that Thor Jr. didn't have in his former life before rescue, and 3 things that he now needs in his new life at rescue. So, Olivia, why don't you lead with the first one? What is one thing that Thor Jr. didn't have in his former life?
He did not have space. Thor came from Tiger King Park, as many of you know, and there, unfortunately, he lived in a very small enclosure, not like the one he is in currently. And so Thor, unfortunately, lacked tiger-sized space and an environment for him to thrive, especially as a young cat. That would be one.
We can't hear the caretaker, Judson,
Oh, copy that. That was just making sure everyone can hear us, and it sounds like everybody can hear us so far. But someone mentioning that they missed the explanation for Jamf, and Jamf's one of our software company, or a Minnesota software company, who's one of the sponsors, rather, is what I meant to say, of the TIGERTHON triple match. Olivia was just saying that we've been kind of talking about the 3 things that we are trying to ask for Thor Jr., as well as the 3 things he didn't have during his former life. And one of those things being is Thor didn't have space, and how appropriate for Olivia to be saying that. As Thor was kind of walking through his free-roaming habitat, I was zoomed in all the way on the iPhone here. Thor wasn't afforded space in his former life. We know that Thor was very much a commodity in his former life at the Tiger King Park. He was bought and sold. He was traded around to the various kind of owners of the Tiger King Park. And we know that Thor Jr. had little, if anything, that would be considered a habitat. Thor Jr. basically had, the equivalent of, kind of a holding crate for his permanent space. And here Thor Jr. is basking on grass, choosing which toy he wants to play with. A marvelous contrast. Olivia, what's number 2 on our list? What's one thing Thor Jr. didn't have before coming to the Wildcat Sanctuary?
Well, one thing you were just talking about is, like we said, Thor came from Tiger King Park, but he kind of bounced around in his first few years of life. Thor didn't have consistency. Each day here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, he can rely on a meal, he can rely on the same people, and he can rely that he will be here for the rest of his life living wild at heart, and that is not something that Thor had previously, before rescue. And then there's one more. Do you remember it, Judson? What's the one last thing he didn't have? Thor didn't have a proper diet. Thor is same theme. He's a big growing boy. He's probably the oldest of our teenager group, right, Judson? Yes, definitely
exactly.
The oldest, but he's still growing. He eats a big diet, I believe, right around 12 pounds a day. And so Thor didn't have that before. He lacked vitamins. A lot of our cats require vitamins and certain medication, and of course a proper diet fit for a tiger. Thor this morning got beef, chicken. I know he gets other things too. He gets a variety of protein here at the sanctuary. So that is one thing that your support's providing, along with everything else that we've mentioned.
Yeah, exactly, Olivia, and thank you for guiding me through that. I'm getting caught up looking at some comments and all types of stuff, and exactly that. And so run through the 3 things that he didn't have now quickly, succinctly.
Yes. Okay, 3 things that Thor did not have before. He did not have the space. he did not have consistency, and he did not have a proper diet before coming here to the Wildcat Sanctuary.
Exactly. And so, Thor Jr., we are going to take those three things, among the many kind of wrongs, unfortunately, that you faced in your former life, and we're, we've already done so much to right those wrongs, and here during TIGERTHON, when your gift can go 3 times as far, thirsty boy, that's what Thor's doing, by the way, is taking a big drink of fresh water, is we're asking if we can help right 3 of those wrongs. And one thing we're asking for is, Thor Jr., you're a growing teenage boy. $100 would feed Mr. Thor Jr. his diet for a whole week. If anyone's willing to give a gift of $100 on this post, that means Mr. Thor Jr., a growing teenage tiger boy, is going to be fed for a whole week. And you guys know, just like Olivia mentioned, Thor enjoys an eclectic diet, as well as Thor also being having one of our largest diets here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. So really, I see someone using the words gentle giant for Thor Jr. I think I can agree with that. I think we might see Thor being a little ungentle here if he goes into his pool and starts playing with his toys. But I would love to go walk down there and join him, and we will keep talking about some of the other ways, the 2 other ways, Mr. Thor Jr., in which we can try to right those wrongs. And that is a good segue, because one of those, Thor, is your pool. Thor Jr.'s pool is filled and cleaned at a minimum twice a week. Thor Jr. is a pool fanatic, and we love that for him. We love that Thor Jr. Is going to take advantage of his pool. We love that he's going to get it as dirty as he wants to get it. Hey, we're going to be right there behind you, Mr. Thor Jr., to get it clean, get it filled back up, so you can do exactly what you're about to enjoy right now, playtime. And so, Olivia, what was the exact amount for Thor's kind of refilling pool schedule, if that's how I could phrase it?
Yeah, so caretaker time, that would come out to about $75 a week for caretaker time to come down here, clean his pool. And the cleaning the pool process is more than just a rinse out. They're scrubbing this pool, they're bleaching it, they're dumping it out, and then obviously refilling it. So $75 can give Thor the caretaker time for that caretaker to come down, clean that pool twice a week, and thoroughly clean it too. You can see that the water is crystal clear.
It is, Mr. Thor Jr. Whoa! He says I'm trying to not get entirely wet, but darn it, do I want those toys. So that was $75 a week for Mr. Thor Jr. and the caretaker time. That is really one of the special things also. I'm so good at digressing, Thor Jr., and distracting myself. But the Wildcat Sanctuary is one of the only accredited sanctuaries in the Big Cat Sanctuary Alliance to have a paid staff. And so considering that we have paid staff members who are learning cats like Thor Jr., giving the dedicated care that he deserves and the dedicated time that it takes to fill those pools, that's an awesome thing. And so it would be $75 to help cover the cost of that, Mr. Thor Jr. It would have been $100 for a teenage boy like this guy, Mr. Thor Jr., to feed him for a week. And the third and final thing, Olivia.
Yes, and similar in the same vein of caretaker time, our caretakers also drive these awesome UTVs, which you've helped donate towards many times, but gas is expensive, so $35 can help for a week provide gas for the UTVs for caretakers to come back and forth to do things like clean the pool, like we were just mentioning, or feed Thor his meals, clean his habitat, so $35 for gas a week.
Exactly. I mean, I piled down here in a UTV. I was bringing down enrichment. We were adding an extra ball in here, Rio. Of course, Olivia. We met caretaker Rio, who used a UTV. Look at this, Mr. Thor Jr. That is just an essential piece of TWS. And with Thor Jr. having all these balls and toys, one thing that we do is make a point of swapping these balls and toys. So exactly that. I think that's a great point, Olivia. And the third and final thing that we are asking for today for Mr. Thor Jr. That he might not have had in his former life, but boy oh boy, we're fortunate he has it here in his rescued life.
Also fitting that there's 3 balls in the pool today. We got three.
Exactly, Thor.
Yes.
3, 3, and 3. Because your donation right now, Mr. Thor Jr., if you were to give us a chuff, well, that chuff would turn into 3 chuffs. I'm going to hang out in the comments here for a second, see what the folks are doing. Appreciate anyone's support if they've offered it, Mr. Thor Jr., as he is having a blast here. A lot of people getting excited about you taking advantage of your pool, Mr. Thor. And we are so happy about that, and definitely thinking about how Thor Jr., we are going to be thinking about wrapping up pool season in about a month or so. And so just a little insight into what Thor Jr.'s doing. He kind of sets himself a list of priorities when he has toys in his pool. Well, I guess one single priority, and it is to get whatever toy is in his pool out of his pool. So if I were to come back later today, Thor Jr., I think we'll probably see him eject one of these toys from his pool. But probably by the end of the day, Thor Jr. has probably puzzled out every single one of these toys. And this is just one of his fun activities. Certainly getting a little physical exertion, which we like to see, and a little mental exertion, Thor Jr. Yeah. Looks like someone was trying to give a gift on Facebook during the live, and donate button was giving an error. Sometimes it can be a little case-by-case basis, and there is a bug. But rest assured, Facebook is not the only way. Well, first of all, thank you for considering a triple donation. But Facebook is not the only way to have your gift tripled. You, of course, can visit our website. You can go to wildcatsanctuary.org. Head it right up to the donate button. I'll turn around and show the bit.ly link, which will be a direct link for you to type into your browser as well. It's a little hard to turn away, Mr. Thor Jr., when you're looking all marvelous, wondering which toy is going to get it. But I'll turn over quickly. There's Olivia's holding up our awesome TWS TigerThon box. And look at that. You can take a little screenshot of this screen, come back to it after the live post, click on this image, and your phone, be it Android, iPhone, zoom, it'll take you right to our donate page. We have good service today, so the clarity should be able to make that QR code 100% usable. And he's officially in. Thor Jr. is starting off the teenage takeover with a splash. I'll interject on myself and welcome anyone if you've just joined us. We are celebrating TIGERTHON and triple donations with one of our rescued residents, Thor Jr. Thor Jr. Has been living here at the Wildcat Sanctuary since May of 2021. He joined us as as originally a witness protection cat. Soon we were able to go public, where we eventually revealed that we were able to rescue Thor Jr. along with a handful of other cats from the infamous Tiger King Park. It was made popular by the Netflix series, I'm sure which many of you maybe have seen. A little surreal to see that series kind of unfolding, and that's the world that Tammy and the sanctuary world, that's the world they live in the world that they've been battling, and maybe a slightly an over sensationalized version of it, but rather one that we're still happy that whether or not it caught the attention of governing bodies and they were able to shut down the Tiger King Park permanently and get all of those animals to accredited sanctuaries. What do you think, Mr. Thor Jr.? He says it's a great afternoon or morning for a plunge. especially when donations are going 3 times as far. He is in the pool. That is right. He is on his way to doing what he does best, getting it nice and nice and dirty, which is why one of the things that we're asking for, Mr. Thor Jr., be $75 during this live. Would it be 75?
75.
That's correct,
Caretaker
Olivia. Thank you.
time,
Keeping me in line, keeping me in line. Caretaker time, Mr. Thor Jr. It's your pool is being filled, or rather cleaned, at a minimum 2 times a week. And we appreciate you guys considering a gift that would help cover the cost of something like Thor's pool cleaning here. Yeah, big goofball. I hope you know we are all smiling right now. We are all smiling, Thor. I think we're smiling because right in front of us you're making us smile, and we're smiling because looking at the big picture, Thor, of what you escaped and the life you're leading now, and man, oh man, all the people out there who've made this journey possible and are here today to continue to make that journey possible. And knowing that their gift is going to go 3 times as far, we appreciate that. Something special, Mr. Thor Jr. He says, yeah, that's worth getting excited about. I'll tell you what else is worth getting excited about. Giant floating tiger toys in a pool. I'm going to catch up on some comments here. Topper, that is a great comment, saying perhaps Thor could give Sushi some lessons in catching things in the water. That is hilarious, Topper. We know Sushi would be our resident rescued fishing cat. Sushi's very much on her way to learning what it is to be a fishing cat. And you're right, Topper. Maybe perhaps precious little Sushi could learn something from Thor, who's being quite the fisherman right now.
We have $50 on this post, which is about half a
Hey,
week waiting for
awesome,
Thor.
awesome. Hey, I appreciate that. And Rosie P mentioning in the comments that you called in a donation today. And Thor Jr., let's make it easy. Let's make it easy on ourselves. I think Olivia and I have been throwing out kind of a handful of numbers associated with some of the things we're striding for on this live post. But I think if you were to average it all out, I think it would be about a goal of $300 if we were to give ourselves, Mr. Thor Jr., on this live post. I think we would be able to knock out the 3 things that we're asking for. Caretaker time to clean his pool, gas to fill the UTVs to bring Thor food and new enrichment, and then of course food for this growing teenager tiger boy. So if we can reach $300 on this post right here, Mr. Thor Jr., well, we'll be starting off the day with a bang. But nonetheless, we still have a full day of teenage tiger takeovers, and plenty of time for your gift to still be tripled. But glad we're setting a goal for ourselves right now. And as I said, Thor Jr. he's kind of a bouncer. He's all about bouncing the toys out of the pool. He says, hey, you got to go. You're out of here. And yep, you're out of here. Which one's going to go out first, Mr. Thor Jr.? I love seeing that comment, Topper. Let's see what else is happening in the comments. Man alive, Thor Jr., we're having fun here. And thank you for the many stars that have been given during this post, too. Looks like some people noticing how Thor was not wanting to get his paws wet momentarily. And it's funny because I've even seen Dash do some stuff like that. He's been holding his paw out of the water, rather, kind of dainty of him, Thor Jr., if you will. But, hey, I know what it's like to jump into cold water sometimes. It can be a little chilly. There we go. Now I can see you over here. Let's see. So who was a teenager once in their life? Thor. Is anybody out here in the comments? Was anybody once a teenager? Because I was once a teenager. Olivia?
I was once
Olivia, you're not that far from a teenager still. And I just love how today's the Tiger Teenage Takeover. And, this is kind of how a teenager's bedroom would look. He's got all the stuff that makes him happy. He's got all the toys, all the posters of your favorite band on the wall. Well, Thor's got all the, all the shapes and sizes of ball that he would need.
Oh, his first success.
Well done, Mr. Thor Jr. Well done. And Thor Jr. has the obligatory girl next door as well, Winona. And I just kind of smiled to myself, Thor Jr. I was thinking in the car ride to work today of just how much of a teenager you are. And I look at your habitat and there's a lot of funny parallels. And look at you. You're king of the mountain too, mister. Whoa. Whoa, holy buckets, mister. Yeah, you have that. That's yours. That's all yours. And truthfully, that is not just an innocent round ball. That is a weighted ball that was, you might recall, many of you generously gave towards the toy fundraiser, the toy drive that happened earlier this year. That's a weighted large ball. You kind of saw how it fell with a kerplunk there. How many of your domestic cats at home look like Thor Jr. when they knock something off the countertop? Kind of like, oh, was that me? Very much looking like Edgar knocking pens off my desk, Thor. Wow, what a fun moment. And I think Thor just showing off just how youthful he is. Ho! Very youthful. And again, just kind of underscoring of how today's the teenage takeover. We're hanging out with some of those youthful cats. They're young in age. A lifetime commitment that you all have helped us make for them. And it's just one of the many things that today is all about, Thor Jr. It's kind of celebrating, reminding, and also just enjoying. Yeah. Was it a chuff or a huff? Everybody's loving your show, your displays of strength, Mr. Thor Jr., and I am right there with them. You have been very impressive during today's live post, showing off. Look at this toy, and this toy, and this toy. It's Tipsy Tom. He had his little chicken piece placed on there. I see some leftover juices for a handsome man. And the day is young, everyone. I don't want to mess up the schedule, despite Thor Jr. being such a ham and having so much fun. But as I said, the day is young. The Teenage Takeover is officially underway. The triple donations of TIGERTHON are very much underway. And remember, even though today is the virtual finale here on Facebook, we're going to be doing live posts for the Teenage Takeover. Rest assured, your gifts are going to be tripled through this Sunday at the stroke of midnight. That'd be September 17th. Teenage Takeover continues, everyone. We'll be shouting out more of our sponsors. Another big thank you again to Jamf, who participating in putting up the triple match for the rescues of the Wildcat Sanctuary. And happy that Mr. Thor Jr. got to hang out and do some nosing around his enrichment today and show off just how sweet of a rescued life he is leading here at the Wildcat Sanctuary as one of our teenage rescued tigers. So don't go too far, everyone. The Teenage Takeover continues later this morning. And in the meantime, thanks for turning out and showing your support for Thor Jr. And I appreciate you all having some fun and sharing some smiles as Thor is really just kind of showing off all that you all make possible. So we will see you shortly, everyone, back here for the triple donations of TIGERTHON. Au revoir.